Hey YouTube, what's going on? My name is Joseph Elliott. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I edit portraits from start to finish. It's going to be a long video, so let's not waste time and get right to it. Okay, so the image we're going to be working on is this portrait of Sarah Jato. I'll leave the link to her Instagram in the description below. I currently have the image open in Adobe Camera Raw. If you're working in Lightroom, don't worry, the same process is going to apply. Alright, the very first step I like to do is come in here and change the profile to camera standard. This is just so that I can have the image closer to how it was when I shot it in camera. Alright, you'll also notice that the panels I have here have been rearranged. How you can do this is by right clicking and coming here to edit panels. You can change the order of the panels. I have the order in the steps that I take in workflow. So the very first section I go to is the basic panel, and I'm going to click here on the white balance tool, and I'm going to just sample off white. I'm going to sample off here just to kind of get a proper white balance. All right, now I'm going to take my highlights up to +20. Let me take shadows to 15. My whites, I'm going to take them up to 10. And my blacks, I'm just gonna bring them down just a bit, maybe like -10. All right, I'm liking the way that looks. For texture, clarity, I don't think I need any for this image. Now, my next step is I'm gonna go into optics. I'm going to turn on remove chromatic aberration and remove profile corrections. I don't like I actually like how it was when the distortion wasn't there. So I'm actually just going to bring the distortion back to 0. All right, for geometry, I'm not going to do anything there. I'm going to go next to calibration. For calibration, I like to go to the blue channel and add between 20 to 30. For this image, I'm going to add maybe like 25. I think that's going to work. All right, I'm liking the way that looks. Next, I'm going to go into my curves, and I'm just going to add a very simple S curve. I'm going to take that down just a bit and that up just a bit. That's it. All right, yeah, I like how that's looking. Let's turn that on before, after, just a pop of contrast. All right, next, color mixer. I'm not going to do anything to the colors. For detail, I do want to add some sharpening. I'm going to hold down the Alt key and I'm going to increase the mask until I'm seeing just the outline. I think maybe 80. That's going to work. I'm going to take the sharpening up to maybe like an 80. Yeah, that works. I like that. Effects and color grading, I'm not going to do anything. So let's see our before, after. Yes, I like that. Now I'm going to open up the image in Photoshop. Okay, so we have our image open up in Photoshop now. My very first step I like to do is cleaning up the skin. All right, like most people go straight into frequency separation, but trust me, if you actually take the time and go through with the healing brush tool, patch tool, and clean up the skin manually, you will have much more realistic looking results. So I'm going to duplicate my layer. I'm going to take the patch tool. I'm going to zoom in, and I'm just going to start cleaning up. It will take a lot of time, but I found that this gives you really good results when you just go in manually. There are plenty of, you'll go out on YouTube and you will see other people telling you like there are shortcuts. Some people just go straight and use frequency separation. But if you want realistic looking results, it's best you go in and try this manually. So this is going to take some time and I don't want to keep you, so I'm going to speed up the video and come back when we're done. Okay, so we've gone through. All right, I noticed a bit more over here. Let me just quickly get rid of that. Clean up some of this. I'm currently using the healing brush tool. The tools I use are the spot healing brush, the patch tool, and the healing brush tool. I cycle between those three. All right, I think that's done. Okay, all right, so let's check it out. This is our before, this is our after, before, after, just using the normal cleaning tools in Photoshop. So the next thing we're going to do is frequency separation. So for frequency separation, I tend to use median, not Gaussian blur. If you'd like me to do a video explain why I prefer median rather than Gaussian blur, just leave a comment below and I'll make another video on that. So I have an action that I've already made. I'm going to click it here and I'm just going to try 20. Let's see how that works. Okay. All right, so we have our frequency separation action. Now, normally in this point, I usually make use of a plugin called Portraiture here by Imagenomic. I'm going to run that here. I'm just going to click OK. And what it does is that it just kind of smoothens out the tones. If you do, you can see that. Then I'm going to create a mask. Take my brush, put it at maybe 20% flow, and I'm just going to paint it on. This just speeds up rather than going through manually. I have another video up on the channel showing you, explaining how I use Portraiture. I'll put the link in the description below. We're just going to paint around the entire skin. Try not to paint over hard lines like the eyes, the lips, the nostrils. We just want to paint it around the skin. Also, don't forget the earlobes. Now, if you have blotchy areas that you want to smooth out, for example this place over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the actual layer itself, not the layer mask, the layer. I'm going to take my mixer brush, make sure that my flow, everything is set to 10. I'm going to increase the size of the brush. Oops, that's a mistake. I don't know why the mixer brush does that now. And I'm just going to blend that area. Just blend it out. I'll also come underneath the eye, blend that area out. All right, and if we go before, after, I think that's looking good. All right, so the next step is going to be dodge and burn. Now, I don't do micro dodge and burn. I have tried it in the past. It just doesn't work out for me. So I do a global dodge and burn, more like sculpting. So I have this action that I had years ago. I can't remember where I got it from. I got it, I think it was Julia Kuzmenko. So I'm just going to click it here. It's just your basic, curves. 2 curves adjustment layers. One is set to dodge, the other one set to burn. So I'm going to come to the dodge one. I'm going to set my brush. I'm going to go to 4% flow. And I'm just going to kind of enhance this highlight. I am adjusting the size of my brush as I go along, just to enhance and kind of give. I'll also come above the eye. You want to kind of enhance the natural highlights that are there. Also come here on the clavicles, give some on the shoulder. And then I'm going to go to the burn. I'm going to go on the side of the head, underneath the nose, underneath the lip, to come into the clavicle, and that's okay. I like to also blur it just a bit, maybe about 10, a radius of 10. And I also do that on the highlights as well. Before, after. This was where we started from. This is where we are now. Alright, so next is going to be color grading, which is everybody's favorite part. There are various different ways to color grade in Photoshop. Currently, I like to do my color grading in Camera Raw. So how I go about that is I will hold down Command or Control if you're on a PC, Alt Shift E, that's to create a stamp visible layer. All right, and then I'm going to go to Filter, Camera Raw Filter. Now I like to go into the preset section, and even if you don't have any presets, Photoshop and Lightroom by default, they come with so many presets. So I think I'm going to come down to the creative section, and one of the ones I love to use is this flat and green preset, and I like to just reduce it a bit, just a bit, and then come in here to the color grading section. I'll come into the shadows and just kind of make some adjustments. So I want to make that a bit more cyan, bring down the darkness a bit, and then I want to come into the mid-tones, maybe brighten that up a bit. Same thing with the highlights, increase that a bit. And then I'm going to come up to the basic section and just add a little bit of dehaze, because that kind of the preset kind of made it a bit soft. So I'll add a little bit of dehaze and bring the saturation down just a bit and click OK. And yeah, I like that, but I think it's looking a bit matted. So I'm going to add a brightness layer. I'm going to increase the brightness a bit and also add a bit more contrast again. And yeah, we're done. So there you have it. That's my portrait editing workflow from start to finish. So thanks for watching, team. I hope you got something out of this video. I really enjoyed making it. Don't forget to give this video a like to help it along, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more photography content. I'll see you next time. Bye.